Welcome to the City Center Podcast. I'm Jerry Marcello. Part of a city's soul and personality comes from the public art it chooses to display. The city of West Palm Beach is no exception, with a thriving public art program, with installations spread across the entire community. But putting both local and national arts to work is one thing. Getting residents to fully enjoy public art is another. Today, we're going to talk about a new program to encourage residents both young and old to explore what Artlife West Palm Beach has to offer and what role the Mandell Public Library plays in making this new program a success. That's next on the City Center Podcast from West Palm Beach. And joining us this afternoon is Sibele Gontal, the Director of Arts, Culture, and Community Building for the City of West Palm Beach. Sibele, welcome.
Hi, Jerry.
You know, a lot of people don't know just how active the City of West Palm Beach is as far as public arts are concerned. Can you give us some background? How did it all get started and where we're going?
Oh, sure. So in 2014, an ordinance was implemented, and then the sexier stuff came in. We had a 5-year master plan, and I came in and I started really developing the program. I started off with temporary projects, big scale ones. I don't know if you were around, but there were big ones that happened in the Great Lawn, and they were an introduction to the possibilities of what public art could be. Fast forward another 5 years, and we really started doing public-private partnerships, getting the private sector more involved, collaborating with communities, collaborating with neighborhoods, collaborating with all the other entities that exist within the city. And the program really started to take off. The last 5 years, we've seen over 55 projects, permanent artworks, temporary projects throughout the city. So you can see the growth that has happened.
So, and during those 5 years, that included obviously the pandemic years. How did the pandemic really affect what we were doing as far as public art?
I'm glad you asked that. So even though COVID, was a global crisis, what occurred during that time, what manifested was that the virtual and physical worlds of the public realm is where the safety net was. That's where people felt they were safe, they could gather, they could discuss, they could experience. And so the public realm became an integral component of, I guess as a community getting better. And public art, we realized right there, was an important aspect of how to continue to build upon a city's growth, because everybody had stalled.
Right.
So, everyone realized where the public realm was just absolutely important.
Sure. And so you're saying that during the 5 years, there were 55 different projects, or even around that number. Are they all still in place, or do they rotate out after a while?
So there's the permanent pieces that obviously are permanent, but there's a lot of temporary pieces that we work on, and especially with the local artists, we try to do initiatives, and we try to, take more risks when you do temporary pieces. You don't have to have every little nut and bolt put into place like you would a permanent piece that has to withhold all sorts of things, not just nature. And that way you can play around, and also you have an opportunity to introduce the public to something that hadn't maybe considered.
Sure.
And the artists themselves gets to play around a little more from their studio practice into the public art practice.
And I would think that with the idea of temporary art that would be there just for a short period of time, that's more reason for folks to go back out again. It's
Absolutely.
not like you've just seen everything and you don't have to go back out for another couple of years. There's always something new coming out.
The exhibits keep rotating. That's exactly it. It's like a rotating public art experience all the time.
Now, what sort of artists do you bring to the city? Are they around the country, or are they local? What are you looking for?
It's a mix. It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
So we have international superstars, we have national, we have regional, and we have our local artists that are defined by being Palm Beach County artists.
Okay.
And so it's a mixed bag, and that's where really the richness of the program lies, because you have artists of all different backgrounds in different, levels of their art experience, their art professions, and you mix that all up with, something like a Fred Eversey Portals, and you mix it in with a couple of the local mural artists, and and in between all that, you have other layers of artists in different places in their careers. And so I think that's the richness of this program, is a little bit of everything.
How do the residents who live nearby the art, how do they react to it?
Oh, they love it. The best part is when you go, especially when you go into neighborhoods, they get really involved. We just finished one at Echo Lake Park, and all those the surrounding neighborhoods were very involved from inception into the final installation, and they love the whole process, and they learned a tremendous amount. And the best, my idea of success, there's many ideas of success, but one of them is when you hear back like, that's our artwork. That's like ownership, and they become the stewards. That to me is like, did the job.
So one of the challenges I think you would face is that you may have a neighborhood where just down the block there is a beautiful piece of art. But how do you manage to get people from blocks away or maybe miles away, different districts, come to see all the art that's been created?
So we're working a couple of different things. We're working on an ongoing art map. We have it on the GIS. You can find it on the city's website, and you can find the GIS map. It's actually more user-friendly on your phone than it is on the city, on like a
desktop computer.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're on your phone, what happens is, so you're, let's say, at Jose Marti Park, and you look and you're like, oh, I didn't know, On the Rise was here. And then you go and look for it, and it gives you all the information, and then it pinpoints all the other different artworks that are nearby that you can walk to. No. So on the phone, it's really user-friendly. On the desktop,
yeah,
we're working on it.
You're on the move, and you have an opportunity to walk to the next piece. And you can actually find your way using the map on your phone. Now, again, that map lives at the city website, WPB.org.
Yep.
Probably search for Artlife West Palm Beach
map. Yeah, I think it's called the Artlife map. And you can find it right on you don't have to download an app on your phone. That's
nice.
Key, right?
Okay, got it.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
So you just look it up, and then you'll find it. You can Google it, find it, and you're like, oh, there it is. Okay. So, but that's a work in progress,
right.
As is the web pages for the Artlife page, where you can see all the art and see what's coming, and it'll tell you coming soon, ongoing, temporary, it's about to go. So, all these are work in progress.
So you would recommend that if people want to keep up with what's going on in the program, they can get a lot of information right from the city website. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. So, and I think you're about to launch a new project that is going to be really, really exciting in 2025. Tell us a little bit about that.
So one of many new projects.
Oh, yes.
But this new one is called Collection Connection, and it is in partnership with the Mandell Public Library. They are big partners of the Artlife program. The libraries, books, art, we go together, right?
Right.
We're good cousins. So we have been working on this project where the idea is that, I brought little samples.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you the kids' version.
Yeah, just hold up right in
so
front of you.
This is the kids' version. This
Probably
way.
that. Yeah,
this
that
way.
one. Yeah.
And Collection Connection and the adult version. So what they are is they're passports that you go to the library to, and you pick them up there. And it gives you the opportunity to then I'm going to be random. You pick any artwork, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And you go to it, and for this one, it says, today I visited the place where I saw, give us a noun. Oh. It was blank size and the color. And so, you fill it out. You can go into, let me pick another one. If I made this artwork, I would call it. If I licked it, it would taste like. This is the kids' version.
No, well, that's really neat because it really gets the kid into thinking about the art and sort of becoming involved in being creative with the art.
And very involved. And so you could pick one of these up at the third floor children's library.
Third floor library at Mandell Public Library, right
correct.
here next to the city
In the
hall.
kids zone, for
In
the
the
kids
kids
one.
zone, right.
And when you've done a few of them, you come back, you get a stamp, and if you get enough stamps, you get an enameled pen.
Ooh.
And then if you get enough enameled pens after a quarter, like we have it, it's a year-long project, then you come back and you get raffled off for some big prizes.
Now, you said that they can come back after they've done a few. Is there a number they have to do, or just you want
There
to do?
is. So
Visit.
the way, and the children's have less than the adults. The adults
Okay,
are
fair
going to
enough.
make work.
Right.
Right?
Well, continue talking
So
about.
yeah, so
here's
what
the
you do
adult
is,
version.
here's the adult version. There's the QR code to scan the art map that we just talked about on the phone.
Great.
Right? So you scan it, and I'm just going to pick out something random. You go to any page. You don't have to do this in order. I mean, you can do it in order, but you can be non-linear if you want. And this one says, what did you notice that was not apparent upon first glance? Does your opinion of the work change? You know, it just prompts, and there's little prompts. Start at the artwork without glancing away for any extended period of time, at least a minute or more if you can. That's the prompt to see.
Right.
Because when you first approach a piece of work, you have obviously a very visual response.
Yeah,
but
right.
if you look at it and if you stick with it long enough, longer, let's say longer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it changes. You
Sure.
start walking around,
Right.
you start picking up nuances, things that you didn't see before. And that's the idea, is like, okay, take a moment, look at it. Now, look at it again and give it a whole minute's attention, which, you believe it or not, is a lot in our technology world, right? In our social media capital world. And then I guarantee you your thoughts will have changed. And so that's kind of like the idea, is like making that connection with the art, your thoughts, going back to the library. The same thing, go back to the library. We have a visitor stamp visitation. So you get your little stamps, enameled pin, the same thing. But it's about making that connection of looking at the art in more depth.
Sure.
Going back to the library. And the library is a wealth of information. So you find something, and maybe that triggers something. And then you can ask, like, I'd really like to find a book about color theory. Or I didn't know about this artist. Can I get a book about Yinka Shonibari? You know? And so we go from there. And so it's just sort of like this back and forth while giving the tool.
Yeah, and what I really like about it, especially in the adult version, is that you have to make a commitment to go to this art. You're not going to spend 15 seconds and swipe your way away from it. You're going to take some time and breathe it in and really think about it, which pays homage to the art and the artist, but it also sort of rewards you by taking a moment and really breathing in what's happening with the art.
Yep.
And really opening up a new kind of moment of absorbing and thinking about something, rather than just simply swiping it away and scrolling through it, which is sort of where we are in things in our culture.
Yes, we're very Instagram boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this one makes you slow down a bit.
That's really
And then
neat.
hopefully you'll find surprises, because it's not, we're not telling you got to go to this. We're just saying, just pick out any artwork in the public realm.
Yeah.
Just start choosing some.
Right.
And you can go anywhere in the city and choose them.
Now, is this something that's just going to be taking place for a month or a couple of months? How long does this last?
This is a year.
Oh, it's a full year.
It's a full year. So we're going to launch Tuesday, February 12th
Oh, okay.
at the Urban Living Room, 4 p.m. So come to the party. And basically the librarians are going to walk you through, this is how you get your passport. This is the anticipation. This is how it'll go. And it'll be a year long, because as we spoke earlier, the landscape keeps changing in the arts.
Right.
So I'll be introducing, as this launches, we anticipate by March having 5 new pieces. And then by the following month, we'll probably have another one. And, it just keeps evolving. So there's no reason to, cut it off. It's it's an evolutionary thing.
Well, that jumps right into my next question for you. Obviously, 2025 is going to be an exciting period of time for you. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, what you have planned.
So we have Collection Connection.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We have the Commons Project, which is 5 artists, 5 spaces. So this is a local artist initiative that started during COVID. And what we do is, and when I say we, it's the Public Art Committee. We put out a call for all Palm Beach County artists. They selected, through a competitive process, 5 artists who are either emerging or not, but they're new to the public art field. So they could be you. It could be you. You have 30 years. You've never been in the public realm, and you could be that person who, for the first time, goes out and creates a piece specific to a public space.
Right.
That's really different from being in the studio. So that's one of them. I'm excited about that one. Then we have coming up a lot in the private development sector. Especially in the downtown area. Forte Residencies will open up in spring. We'll have 3 new works there by 3 prominent women artists. Very exciting for that one. Mr. C's Residencies is developing something, as is the Berkeley. 811 South Dixie. I'm working with on a public-private partnership with that one, and that's on the south end of the city, the entrance to the city from the south part. Working on a new piece there. We have the Northwood Village. I'm always working with the CRA. They're a great partner also. Library's a great partner. CRA is a great partner.
Partners everywhere. It's great.
The community. So, I got to tell you, it's all over the city.
Yeah.
It's all over the city.
There's a lot of energy happening here.
Yeah.
This program that we're describing here sounds like a great place to start, especially introducing young people
Absolutely.
to art and really thinking about what they're looking at rather than just swiping left and being gone. It's really nice to see that.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
We're really excited about this, and it'll be fun just to, people don't take the time to just sit and really think about the art that they're seeing sometimes. I mean, there are people who do, but I think this is the opportunity to do it.
Right.
So, and I hope and it's a perfect size. You don't have to write a lot. Just throw it in your back pocket.
All the efforts upstairs. You take a look at it and interpret the art.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about how the library is involved, and we want to give love back to the website because it's going to be a place where people are going to be getting a lot of information. So WPB.org. Go ahead and look for Artlife West Palm Beach, and you'll find information there about this program as well as everything else you're doing.
Yes.
Which is tremendous.
Yes. And the other, can I just throw this in too
Yeah.
for this one too? Don't forget to look under the library too for this project.
That's right.
Collection Connection.
Of course. So as well, so really they can find out information about the program on the library's web pages.
The step-by-step.
Very good. So really how it's done is going to be living at the library. Excellent. So go to the library pages of the city website. You'll find out a lot more about this particular project and how to get involved. That's very cool. Sabile, thank you so much for your time. What you're doing for the city is so important. It's part of our profile. It's part of our personality.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the time to Collection Connection. I really appreciate their time. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. We hope you'll take part in the Collection Connection and enjoy all the art our city has to offer. The City Center Podcast is a production of the City of West Palm Beach Communications Department. I'm Jerry Marcello. We'll see you next time. Collection Connection is a joint project between the Mandell Public Library and Artlife West Palm Beach that encourages participants to explore the city, connect with art, and relate it to other aspects of their lives. Please visit WPB.org/Collection Connection to learn more.